What you got, Tom?
Can you imagine if you're Yaxel or Mara watching him if he gets selected here? This is going to be so awkward. I don't know. When you have a Dusty May basically coming on and being the head coach, let's see who gets picked.
Wow.
Morez Johnson Jr. The pick is in. Dusty May goes with someone he knows all too well, trusted, reliable. Talk about the motor that this young man plays with. I love this pick.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at him, what he did in the down low was impressive. I mean, 62% from the field, 72% at the rim. Like KOC alluded to, defensively is where I think he makes his mark. I mean, when you look at what he can do, he plays so hard and his ability, his lateral quickness is so good that he can really stay in front of guards. When you put him on the perimeter and you switch at 6'9", when you switch 1 through 5, I think that he can really do a good job of making it tough on guards. And he has the wingspan to be able to contest jumpers. I like it. I mean, my question becomes, is he skilled enough to be able to move down to the 4? Because he's not a great shooter, doesn't have really a great handle. His game is really limited offensively. But defensively, I think he can guard for us. But can he play the 4 offensively? Does he kill the spacing for Cooper Flagg and the rest of the team when he's playing the 4? Because we also got to remember, we have Lively and Gafford at that 5 spot. So if you move Morez Johnson to the 4, does it kill spacing for Cooper Flagg?
I don't think so. I think I'm betting on Morez Johnson to figure it out as a shooter as well. The improvement he experienced from as a freshman in Illinois to his sophomore year at Michigan, he looked like a much better, much more comfortable spot-up shooter. And so I'm a believer there with him. And I think not only that, King, like more than anything else, the dude is just a winner.
He's a winner.
I had Dusty May on my podcast back in April before he was hired by the Mavericks head coach, and I talked to him about each of these Michigan prospects, and the thing that he said about Morez that stuck in my mind is he said anytime the Michigan Wolverines were having a day where the energy wasn't there in the bus, there's something off on the court, the staff would look at each other and be like, but we got Morez and they don't. and I just think that quote sums up the Morez Johnson experience. He is a winner through and through, constantly makes a winning impact, and you can survive with one non-shooter on the floor, and I don't think he's going to be a non-shooter.
What about Dusty May? What about his longevity as a head coach in the NBA? Do we believe in it? Do we not?
Well, this is what's crazy is, do they make this pick if he's not the head coach? You know, think about that. If he doesn't have the experience with Morez Johnson, do they select this pick at Michigan? Because, of course, Mike Schmitz, who is the new GM of the Dallas Mavericks, coming from the Portland Trailblazers last year, who made a big swing in Young Hansen. When you're looking at the ability to go get this guy, they're not on their tippy toes when it comes to making this pick. They are absolutely going all in here with a surprising pick, because to me, I like Adai Mara for them in terms of the defensive ability at the rim, and I think OKC is licking their chops right now. If that falls to number 12 with Yaxel or Mara, I think they're excited that neither of those two guys got picked here at number 9.
It's interesting. I mean, with OKC, there's been so much talk about trading up. Who were they targeting? There's been some rumors about Morez Johnson. There was rumors about Adai Mara. There was rumors about Keaton Wagler, for that matter, with who the actual target was for the Thunder. I'd imagine the true target was a Adai, the 7'3" center, but ultimately we'll see here with the Bucks here with the 10th pick. Are they going to go with Nate Ament, a guy that they worked out in New York City? They traveled to New York to work him out a few weeks ago, and he really impressed them. They have the 13th pick as well. Maybe they wait for him there, knowing that the Thunder could take him 12. I think the Warriors also at 11 are a threat for Mara as well. So we'll see there if he ends up falling to the Thunder.
Wow, just an incredible story here
what a story.
For Dusty May to be able to be here for this. Look at that point. You know, when you talk about the program that they did, the system, King, at Michigan, where this is in an era where the college basketball system seems more pro than ever, bringing in a coach like Dusty. I don't think this is a case of John Calipari at New Jersey or Rick Pitino at Boston. I think this is a new era where I don't think the lines are as cut and dry between NBA and college.
You know, to your point, I think this system, you talk about what Dusty May did last year, it was Yaxel at the 3, it was Morez at the 4, and it was Mara at the 5. It's very similar to what we can see with the Mavericks, with Cooper Flagg being your 3, being your Mr. Do-It-All, a.k.a. Yaxel last year from Michigan, right? Morez at the 4, and then you could look at Lively and Gafford at that 5 spot. It could look very similar to the same type of identity that we saw Michigan be able to play with. So I don't hate it. I don't love it. I gotta admit, I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. And I will say, I think this is a Dusty May pick. So this is the first decision we've seen by Dusty May as the head coach. I think this is the first tell of, okay, how are you going to be as a head coach, right? This is what he's going to be judged by if you hit on this pick or not. One of the things he'll be judged by is, you made this pick. Did you hit or did you miss?
On the other side, from Morez Johnson, I mean, how comfortable can you be? You know, stepping into the next level and knowing that there's a familiar face that you know is rooting for you and that you had the chance to win.